All right, friends, this is going to be part 77 of my presentation on dinosaurs and man. And in the past couple of videos, we've been going over examples of animals that were once in existence, or maybe they're still in existence, but they're running the chance of being extinct. And what happened to them? What happened to them? Why are they extinct? And I've been using that example as an example to what happened to the dinosaurs. If we believe that the biblical time frame is right, biblical worldview, the earth being about 6,000 years ago, God creating the world and everything in about 6 literal days, spoken of in the book of Genesis. And then there was that flood that happened about 4,400 years ago. Where are they? Where are the dinosaurs? Now we've talked about that before in areas like the Amazon and the jungles of Africa. In some of these inaccessible regions, or these areas of the jungles, these dense jungles, that a good portion of it has never been explored, that there very well could be animals like dinosaurs, or dinosaurs that are still in existence. They're still discovering new animals and plants to this day. And so we don't know, unless somebody has seen every inch of this planet and can say, yes, there's no dinosaurs. And that's not even to consider the water, the seas and stuff like that. The plesiosaurs and what we commonly refer to as, prehistoric animals that are still in the seas. We don't know. The ocean is pretty darn big. And then there's underneath it. And so, but we've been going over animals as an example of what can happen. And I believe that the dinosaurs were hunted off, and man encroaching onto their habitat, killed them off, and so that happens today. It's still happening today. And unless things change, there are there's other animals, a lot of them, and we're going to talk about them, that are going to go extinct. They're endangered of becoming extinct. And the only way we'll ever know them is either through video footage, pictures, or taxidermy. And so, but if you'll notice on the screen here, we're going to talk about the Okapi. The Okapi. Now, for those of you that have been watching my videos, have heard me mention the Okapi before. And some of this information here is rehashed information, but I do have some new stuff here. And so, but right before 1900, a Welsh-American adventurer, Henry Morton Stanley, was exploring the Congo region and heard about a strange forest animal. The Pygmies described an animal that was half giraffe and half zebra. The name given to it by the Pygmies was Adi or Oapi, later anglicized as Okapi. It was sometimes found caught in their 7-foot pit traps, even though Stanley never saw one for himself. Now, I want you to notice that, guys. Even though Stanley never saw one for himself, he mentioned it in his 1890 book entitled In Darkest Africa. From the descriptions the Booty tribes gave, he thought it was a donkey because of the horse-like idea. Rumors of its existence led people in Europe to refer to it as the African unicorn. The High Commissioner of the neighboring Uganda, British colonial administrator and keen amateur naturalist Sir Harry Johnston, met with Stanley in 1899 and talked about the animal. So just by this information already, if it was to be left right there, they would say it didn't exist. It don't exist. It's nonsense. It's just some myth, some little urban legend, and they would leave it at that. That sounds very familiar to some of the dinosaur sightings. Very familiar. Where the Pygmies know about it, the person going it hears about it, they never see one for themselves, but they write about it, and then that's about it. So already this right here is very familiar to a lot of the dinosaur sightings that you see. Well, let's go on. The scientific community at that time said it was nonsense. An animal by that description was Paleotragus and was believed to have become extinct about 20 to 30 million years ago. In 1900, Sir Harry Johnson sent bandoliers that had been made from striped portions of the rear legs of the Okapi. Now, those bandoliers are, if you notice at the very bottom, I got a little note there. The bandoliers are soldiers' shoulder belts with pockets for ammunition. That's what that is. But going on, it says the hairs were examined and shown to be structurally indistinguishable from that of a zebra, and was declared to be a new species of zebra. On May 7, 1901, a meeting at the London Zoological Society exhibited the skulls and skin of the animal that would later be called the forest giraffe. The forest giraffe. Zoologist Sir E. Ray Lancaster assigned the Okapi its own genus, Okapi johnstoni, honoring Johnston. And so this right here is Paleotragus. This is the animal that they said was nonsense and died out about 20 to 30 million years ago, guys. Get that. Million years ago. That's a science for you now. Here's another picture. Look at that. Look at it real good. Notice the little bony little horns on top. Notice that structure of that animal. Look at this other picture again. Let's go back to that black and white one. Notice that. All right? This right here is the Okapi, a.k.a. Paleotragus. I believe that's Paleotragus right there, guys. It is a member of the giraffe family. Was discovered in 1900 in the inaccessible rainforest of northeastern Democratic Republic of the Congo and western Uganda. In 2008, now listen, guys. In 2008, an actual photograph of an Okapi was made with a camera trap placed in the forest by the Zoological Society of London. Now, from 1900 to 2008, they had nothing except that skin. And so that's just absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. All that time, they had nothing, and they finally got one. That's the reason why I think camera traps is what they're going to have to use to get some of these photos of some of these other animals that they've heard rumors about, but they don't know. And so, but they are incredibly shy and elusive. Their large ears can detect the slightest sounds. They can vocalize bleats and whistles. Get that? Bleats and whistles. But are mostly quiet, apparently communicating to each other with infrasonic, this is low frequency sounds that are beneath the range of human hearing, and their main predator is the leopard. Absolutely incredible. About 30,000 okapis are found in the wild. They live only in the tree-covered mountainous areas of the Democratic Republic of the Congo, formerly Zaire. Now, this was the animal, guys, that the scientific community said it was nonsense. It did not exist. Now, due to how rare and the secluded life each Okapi lives, little information is known about it to classify it as threatened or endangered, though I did recently find out that the International Union for Conservation of Nature, that's IUCN, has the Okapi as one of the species on a list of critically endangered, endangered, or vulnerable. It's a list. They classify it in those three categories. Either it's critically endangered, just endangered, or it's vulnerable to be endangered. And so it's on that list. I'm not sure in which of those three categories that they list that as. And so, for what it's worth, that's what I did find out. And so they are 5.5 feet from the shoulder all the way down to the ground. 7 feet long. The tail is 12 to 17 inches long. The male Okapi, notice that head, guys. Now, I showed you that picture before that it had 2 bony humps on its head. Check this out. Mostly the males have 2 small skin-covered bony knobs on its forehead. Viewing from the side, the horns can appear just as one horn and may explain the African unicorn rumors. The Okapi have long, flexible purple tongues that is used to rip leaves from branches and can clean their eyes and ears. That's amazing. Now, remember what that scientific community said. The scientific community at that time said it was nonsense. An animal by that description was Paleotragus and was believed to have become extinct about 20 to 30 million years ago. Now, we're going to stop right there, but guys, just like with a lot of the dinosaur sightings in the past, until they actually produce a body, I think that's going to satisfy the quote-unquote scientific community. But again, just because they haven't actually produced an animal yet, a lot of the natives that live in these areas of these dense jungles and these forests that has a large amount of it has not been explored, they've described animals that sound exactly like dinosaurs. And so just because we don't have one doesn't mean that they don't exist. And so it matches the biblical time frame. An animal just like the Okapi here, to me, that's a Paleotragus. It looks exactly like the animal that was supposed to be extinct 20 to 30 million years ago. Now, did a big revival happen and people get on their hands and knees and ask God for forgiveness? No, they didn't. They still believe in evolution. All they're going to say is, isn't that amazing that this animal survived for 20 to 30 million years ago? Just like Dr. Roy Mackal, when talking about the living dinosaur in the Congo swamps, he said it's amazing that it survived all these millions of years, and that area of the Congo area and those jungles, it just was untouched by time for the most part. So it didn't change his view on evolution. And so that's my point. That's my point. Again, this is the reason why my ministry is centered for the creation believers, the Bible believers, those that do believe. All I'm trying to do is just educate them on these topics that it usually confuses a lot of people. And so, you know, the Bible has the right view. It's the Bible is historically accurate, and so the whole biblical worldview and the timeline is the correct view. And so, but at any rate, guys, we're going to finish this up with the next video. You guys take care. I love you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.